Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Davis and I'm here in the Florida Keys with my son and his scout troop. Specifically, we're at Seabase and we're going to be checking out today the snorkeling at Looe Key. Now this is one of the best snorkeling spots in the world and we're going to take you with us. So let's go check it out. So there's two Seabase locations in the Keys. We stayed at the Brinton Environmental Center, which is owned and operated by the Scouts. You're basically in a little marina, so we jumped on the boat right there. Before heading to Looe Key, we made a quick stop to pick up another scout troop staying on Big Munson Island, which is also owned by the Scouts. Big boats like ours cannot pull all the way up to the island because the water is way too shallow, so the Scouts came to us by traversing through the sand and rocks in roughly waist-high water. Once everybody was aboard, we made the voyage to Looe Key. Looe Key hits the sweet spot from a snorkeling standpoint. It's got healthy coral, tons of marine life, shallow, clear, and protected waters, and it's got super easy access. That combination is surprisingly rare, which is why it's consistently ranked amongst the best snorkeling spots in the world. The reef itself is named after HMS Looe, which ran aground on the reef and sank in 1744. Now that we've anchored the boat, it's time to dive. I sat back and watched as my son and the rest of the Scouts jumped in from the boat. But it wasn't long before I jumped in and joined them. Shortly after, I was followed by my dive buddy, Matt, who was also the scoutmaster of the troop. The reef system is sprawling, and most of its depth ranges between 5 and 15 feet, which made it easy to get up close and personal with the marine life. The water is crystal clear, with visibility up to 50 feet, which is so rare outside of the Florida Keys. But we did notice that at this specific spot, which was more towards the 15-foot mark, you were kind of looking down on everything, and the fish themselves were a little bit on the small side. So after a while snorkeling with the troop, Matt had the idea for him and I to go swim out to the barrier of the reef, which turned out to be a really good idea. Once there, we quickly discovered that the water was at its most shallow point, which meant that the reef and the marine life were far more up close and personal. At the same time, the waves got more choppy in this section. If you look closely, you'll notice that the waves are pushing me back and forth right alongside the fish, which was kind of cool. With the massive biodiversity, I couldn't help but feel like I was swimming in a living aquarium. Now, I'm not an expert in identifying fish, but there are a ton of them out there. If you see a cool one that you recognize, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. This one looks like a yellowtail snapper to me, but I don't see its stripe. So like I said, I'm not really an expert. The whole thing's like a bit of a puzzle. You'll see one fish, and then if you pause the picture, there's like another 50 of them in there. It's totally crazy. After a little more time hanging out with these aquatic friends, it was time to head back to the boat. On the way, we ran into my son and his dive buddy, who were heading back too. Plus, we ran into some other dive buddies that were all hanging out around the boat, sharing stories about what they discovered under the water. If this video helped, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my channel. It goes a long way towards helping others find this video. Anyway, that's it for the snorkeling part of our Seabase trip. I'll drop links to other Seabase videos from this particular adventure, and we'll catch you on the next one.